just got done watching a basketball game between the Sacramento Kings and the New Orleans Pelicans, two teams that are fighting for playoff positionings and two of the hottest teams in basketball, as the Pelicans had won 7 of their last 8, and the Kings have been one of the hottest teams all seasons. We're going to talk about this game because tonight the Kings won 121-103. The Kings were fighting for that 2 seed with the Grizzlies winning tonight. It's likely that the Kings are going to lock in that 3 seed, and the Pelicans were fighting from anywhere from pretty much the 5 to the 9 seed. So big game for both teams, and tonight the Kings played fantastic basketball. They played the way that they've been playing all season, good on the defensive end of the court, and their top 6 players played excellent. We're going to talk about this game, break it down, and I also want to spend some time tonight kind of recapping this regular season for the Sacramento Kings. As we get into the playoffs, we're going to be doing a ton of videos breaking down the Kings, NBA playoffs in general. It's going to be a ton of fun. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're at almost 1,200 subscribers. The playoffs are going to be a blast. I love talking with y'all Kings fans because, to be quite frank, y'all are the best. But we're going to talk about this game, and I think the Kings might actually get the most awards in the entire NBA when I'm looking at all the potential awards, all NBA teams, some of the new things they've added this year. So really excited for Kings fans in general because I think this is an exciting time, exciting season. So tonight, the Kings won 121-103. Domantas Sabonis had another triple-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. Harrison Barnes had 16 points. Keegan Murray had 21 points, hitting 7 3-pointers. De'Aaron Fox had 23 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. Kevin Huerter had 11, and then Malik Monk off the bench had 17 points. They held the New Orleans Pelicans, like I said, a team that's been playing very good lately, and especially at home, to 103 points. So all in all, a great performance from the Sacramento Kings. They pretty much dominated this game from start to finish. At halftime, they had an 11-point lead and never really looked back from there. But I want to take a second. So the Sacramento Kings, obviously, as we know, making the playoffs for the first time since 2006. And I went back, I just wanted to look up their roster from 2006. And a lot of y'all, maybe not alive, or if you were alive, young, different time of your life, maybe in college, high school, wherever you were at, and tell me if you remember some of these players. Mike Bibby was the leading scorer on the squad with 21 points a game. Oh, and I also wanted to point out, this year's Kings team is the highest scoring basketball team in the NBA with the highest offensive rating all time. In 2005, 2006, they averaged 98 points a game, which is just ridiculous how much different it is right now. So Mike Bibby led the team in scoring. Second, Metta World Peace. Third, Peja Stojakovic. 4, Brad Miller. 5, Bonzi Wells. And 6, Sharif Abdur-Rahim. And then 7th, Kevin Martin. Pretty wild to go back and look at some of those players, guys that, we grew up watching, guys that just feel like they played so long ago. I mean, Metta World Peace, I guess, played somewhat recent with Kobe on the Lakers. But other than that, a lot of those guys, it feels like we haven't seen them in the NBA for a very long time. So thinking about where this Kings squad is right now is really cool and really exciting. Like I mentioned, they have the best offensive rating of all time. Right now, they're at a 119. We'll see how these final few games, if they go slightly above, slightly below, but they'll finish with the best offensive rating of all time. Their clutch offensive rating is a 129. They're second in the NBA in field goal percentage. So not only did they score a lot of points, they're pretty fast. I think they were like 10th in pace, but they get quality looks and they knock them down because they have a lot of guys who are really just elite offensive players. They have 7-8 guys that can play offense at a high level. Trey Lyles was pretty terrible tonight, 0-4 from 3, but in general, as a 7th, 8th guy, very solid offensive player. They're the healthiest team in the NBA by quite a wide margin. I went and looked at this list. The Warriors have missed the most games with 264 missed games by their players. The Sacramento Kings are at 45, and the next closest is 122. So Sacramento's been by far the healthiest team in the entire NBA, and I think that bodes well as we head into the postseason. Like I said, more than likely, the Sacramento Kings is going to end up playing either the Warriors, Clippers, or Lakers. Those are 3 teams that have a ton of playoff experience. Their veterans and star players have won NBA Finals, have won Finals MVP, have had a lot of playoff success, but have dealt with a ton of injuries. When you look at the Clippers, Paul George adding Russell Westbrook, where's that chemistry going to be at? The Lakers, we know LeBron's been out for a while. AD very well could miss a lot of games. They made some big trades at the deadline. That's a huge question mark. And then with the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins returning, and the Warriors on the road this year are one of the worst road teams in the NBA. They're 2-20 against teams on the road with a record that's 500 or better. There was only one team in the entire NBA than that, and I think the Spurs had a better record on the road against teams 500 or better, which, you know, if you're a Warriors fan, should make you a little sick to your stomach. Going into a place like Sacramento, where the crowd's electric, the energy's through the roof because of not being in a playoff series in so long. So if you're the Kings and you're a Kings fan, you have to feel pretty confident going into this playoff run. And I think whatever one of those matchups it's going to be, you're going to see a majority of the media and a majority of sports pundits pick the other team. They're not going to pick the Kings. You're going to have people picking the Clippers, Lakers, and Warriors more than likely in that series. So if you're a Kings fan and you like to gamble, go put a lot of money on the Kings, because I think you're going to get them as underdogs, and I think they have a great chance to win that series. Now, let's talk about some of the things that have been awesome about this Kings team this season. Like I said, health-wise, through the roof. Domantas Sabonis has played 76 games, and they have 3 left. They have 3 left, so all these numbers are with 3 games left. De'Aaron Fox has played 70, Kevin Huerter 72, Harrison Barnes 78, Malik Monk 74, Keegan Murray 76, Davion Mitchell 77, Trey Lyles 70. So their star players, their top players are on the court at all times. And that chemistry, that time playing together, that continuity, I think will come through in big moments. And I think that's why we see them be so good in clutch situations, not only because De'Aaron Fox is an absolute stud. That's one of the awards, Clutch Player of the Year. De'Aaron Fox ran away with that a long time ago, and that's just his for the taking. So when you look at this Kings team, I think I sat down today and I started to put together some of my awards list for the season. And once these games are concluded, I'm going to release all my awards and who I have winning them all. But De'Aaron Fox is going to be All-NBA guard, first or second team in my opinion. Whatever the media picks, I know that they like to put guys like Luka or, you know, other players in front of him. But to me, games played matters, and De'Aaron Fox has played a ton of games. They're number 3 in the West. He's averaging 25.6 assists, and it is shocking the step that De'Aaron Fox has taken into being an absolute star, stud, one of the best point guards in the NBA. And I'm pumped because out of college, I believe he played at Kentucky. This guy was he was electric. He was fast. He played really good in that tournament run. I think he outplayed Lonzo Ball. I believe that was the same draft. And we were just pumped to see De'Aaron Fox in the NBA. And all in all, you know, got off to a little bit of a slow start. He was kind of a good individual player, but you weren't sure how he could contribute to winning basketball. But over this year, he's proven that he's absolutely one of the top guards in the NBA. Domantas Sabonis is going to be that third-team All-NBA center. So you're going to have potentially 2 All-NBA players from the Sacramento Kings. You're going to have the Clutch Player of the Year. When you sit down and look at it, I think Mike Brown's Coach of the Year by a mile. I was trying to think of who I would have second place. The Grizzlies coach, I think Taylor Jenkins, I think maybe is second. And then maybe if you want to say like Mike Malone or something like that for third. But I think as far as first place, Mike Brown getting this team from a borderline, I think right out of the play-in last year to now being the 3 seed in the West. I think Mike Brown's got to be Coach of the Year. Sabonis. Okay, so when I'm looking at my MVP rankings, I just went top 5. And I think Sabonis comes in at that 5 spot, which is highly impressive for a guy like that. They said he has the best numbers with his field goal percentage since Wilt Chamberlain is the only guy to put up the numbers he is with his field goal percentage since Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, and that's highly impressive. And Wilt Chamberlain won the MVP that year. So Sabonis to me is a top 5-6 guy in MVP race. And then all rookie, obviously, Keegan Murray broke the all-time record for three-pointers made for a rookie, and he's playing at an elite level. This Sacramento Kings team is very alive when we get into the playoffs. They're going to be playing a team with very little chemistry, a team that's beat up, very a good chance that they get injured. And I think that the way that the Kings play together, the continuity they've been able to develop, the fact that they have Malik Monk off the bench, who's an absolute assassin, Keegan Murray, who's only getting better and better. And I think the continuity helps your defense. And so the Kings, yes, they're not the best defensive team in the NBA, but as you start to get in big moments and, clutch playoff situations, I think that they're able to get a bucket, and their continuity, their communication should be pretty solid on the defensive end of the court. And I even like they brought in Alex Lynn a little bit tonight to play as their backup big man. When you start to play maybe a team like the Nuggets or Grizzlies play big, I think Steven Adams is out, but teams that play kind of bigger, having that backup center that can come in and give you some quality minutes. He had 4 points, 2 blocks tonight, was a plus 15, which is solid. So all in all, this Kings team is deep. It has the talent. It plays good in big moments, and it's well coached. The Sacramento Kings, I'm pumped to watch them in the playoffs. I'm super excited about this regular season we just got to see. I'm pumped for you Kings fans. We're going to be covering a lot of Kings basketball, so don't forget to subscribe. That's all we got for you tonight. Sabro Go.